Good morning, everybody. It's Matrix here, and here is my recap for my small account challenge for December 11th. So it's 11:44 now. It's past the time where I set myself to trade 11:30. So I'm not going to take any more trades. Now today was I don't know. Here's my PNL. You guys let me know. That's today. All right. I was green on two tickers. Okay, both tickers. I had 12 tickets and I made 28 bucks. After commissions, it's gonna come out to 10 bucks. All right, and to me, it feels disappointing. It feels really disappointing. Definitely. Um, basically, because I think I traded bad. I'm trying to not beat myself up too much here. Looking at the SPY, in the morning it was very choppy. I also had issues right out of the gates within the first 5 minutes. My platform was frozen and the clock wasn't moving. Now the thing about this platform is that the clock always moves. Like literally, when the markets close, the clock is always moving, counting down. Now, when I turned my head once I got into my first trade and I saw that the clock wasn't moving, it was frozen. I had the oh shit moment, and I basically took that trade off right away. Saved all my drawings and my screens, and basically reloaded the platform. And that took me about 3 to 4 minutes to do. Come back up, and then I was starting to trade again. Now, looking at these trades, I mean, here is that first trade I took on DSW, and I did get a pretty good entry here, but the clock froze, so I covered it right away, and I made a small gain on it. But I don't know, it was disappointing for me. It's disappointing for me, definitely. So let's get into it though. The recap. So DSW first trade. Um, it was very simple. I want to bring up the daily chart as well. So just give me a sec. Move this stuff around. Bring up the daily chart. Okay, so last night on my watch list, I talked about DSW being one of my watches that it would be announcing earnings pre-market, and basically when I came up today and I opened up the platform, I saw it pop up and gap up huge on earnings reaction. Now my first idea was to see it fill the gap. So that's basically that's what it did, because this gap right here basically fill the gap first before the bounce. That's basically what it did, because DSW was such a downbeaten stock, right? And people were already selling it. Okay, so it also was very bag holder stock, in my opinion. So if you look at this 27 level here, this was a key line. So as soon as the stock got a little pop back up, I think the bag holders finally had a chance to get out. Looking at the overall daily chart in itself, it's super beat down. I think the earnings report was an overreaction as well. So right out of the gates, I was looking for it to dump, and that's exactly what it did. So let's move this daily chart back down real quick, and let's show you my trades on it. Hold on. Okay, stretch this out and bring in the trades. All right, so DSW, like I said at the open, my platform froze, or my market clock was freezing, and basically I had an oh shit moment, so I covered right away. But as soon as I saw this stuff candle happen around the 27, I was looking for that trade, and I was looking to short it as it broke the lows of this support here. and as well as VWAP. Okay, so when this stock opened, the spread was about 20 to 30 cents. So I saw it, uh, I saw the spread kind of closed up at this 26.50 area. It closed up to about 26.55 and 26.50, and it was really coming down on it. So I tried to get in right away and hit my short 100 hot button there. But even though I did have the button and I got the instant execution, once I hit it, the bid basically just turned right into the 26.26. So I got a really bad fill. So that kind of that was sour. That was it was a bad fill. I wanted it to fill right as it snaps, but it is what it is. I had a bad fill, and then I turned my head. I once I saw the bad fill, I turned my head. I'm like, I looked at the market clock, and it froze, and I was disappointed that I got a bad fill. So the next candle, it popped a little bit into VWAP, and then it came down. But I saw the market flow, so and the spread was so wide, so I took it right off, and that was the end of the trade for a nice 9-cent gain. It never got back up into the VWAP had I held it, but hindsight, I'm not going to talk about hindsight. Never going to talk about had I held it. You can see for yourself the had I held it, right? So that's the idea there, and it was unfortunate that I couldn't stick to this trade due to technical issues on the platform and also a bad fill. Now, next up, once I booted up the computer, again, by the time it was around this area, it had already dumped to right here at the 25 mark near the 200 SMA. So I was looking for some sort of a pop from from the key psychological hold dollar of 25, and it never happened. All right, it never happened. So it just kept dipping and dipping, and then finally we see this death cross happening. Like I saw this dump, and then I was just basically watching it, and then eventually I had this little trend line marked out right here as I was watching this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles, and I was watching for this consolidation area to snap and to get in. So and my risk would be about 25.50, 25.25 here, about the 200 SMA. I saw it kind of top out, right? So essentially this was kind of like a money spot. I talked about the money spot in one of my videos featured on my YouTube channel, and I talked about how to make a re-entry to follow trends on a trade as well. So the reasoning behind me making an entry here and the reasoning behind me looking at the spot is both stated in my videos on lessons and learning playlist, I believe. So anyways, I got in at 24.70s. So basically right about right about here. Literally the bottom of this candle. Another bad fill. All right. And I got in at 200 shares, which was because of a bad fill. When this thing gave me a chance, I covered it, half of it right away to mitigate my risk. I believe my risk was a little bit above here, right? But because of the bad fill and the wide range, maybe I would have just took it off as it if it reclaimed 25 because I had such a high risk there. Yeah, probably 25 was what I was looking at. 200 shares. So I realized that I got a bad fill. I covered half when it gave me a chance and take the size down to half to mitigate my risk and help me stay in the trade longer on the next candle. And then it bottomed out again. All right, it bottomed out again. It topped out here at at 946. Right? No, this candle now we're talking about 946. Let me see. I got in at 9:45. At 9:46 here, I basically covered twice. So there should be two arrows here. I basically covered twice on the same candle as it bottomed out, and it was reaching the 2460s mark. Because the prior candle, I saw how it kind of held 2460s. So I covered twice here, and then finally the last cover was right here when I saw it basing and tapping out. I just didn't want to hold on to consolidation. And I also saw, I believe, a trend break. No? No, I just took it off. Probably basically because it was a bad start of the day for me and I had a bad fill here. But that's the two trades on DSW. I have to go back through it and see why I took it off. Now scrolling out on DSW, I mean, it wasn't a bad it wasn't a bad exit. I mean, that's where I finally got out, and eventually it downed a little bit more and it came back up. Let me think about this. Oh yeah. Okay, I remember now. The reason why I took it off so soon was because I thought that the trade was no longer worth it to take. Okay. By that time, I was looking at the intraday chart and I was looking at my risk to reward. Now, the stock has sold off so much already. And yes, I was looking for a gap fill right here. But I only had like about 20 cents, sorry, 40 cents. Like my entry was 24.70. That's my average, right? And the target right here at the very bottom is at 24.20s where the gap filled. Now, here's the thing. I mean, yes, the major target is 24.20s, but um, it's it's not worth it to me because my risk was around the 25-30 cents up, and yes, the target was 50 cents down, but you can never really be too greedy and make sure you hit that target to the exact point, right? Since the stock has sold down so much, I mean, it could have popped back on me at any point in time. And I was thinking it is a positive earnings catalyst too. So people might buy the higher low and it might not even fill that gap, right? It might just get to around the 24.50s or 24.30s and start bouncing from there. And that's why I took it off, because we were already so close to the 24.50s already. And this downtrend, I got in here very late and it was about time to reverse. So I was watching this trend line and basically that's it. It was doing some sideways action and I was thinking, okay, maybe the trend is about to break soon. I don't have much more downwards to go because the main target was at 24.20s, and I should be just I shouldn't even be taking this trade in the first place. So that's why I took it off. And as I was seeing this, a couple minutes of sideways as it comes and round off into this trend line, I basically just took it off. And of course, it was a great out because as you can see, it did break this trend line and then it started running back up again. And on the main picture here, I mean, look at this. The stock is now up and over 25. So I got out perfect. To be honest, I shouldn't have gotten back in here. It wasn't really a great trade. The perfect spot was right here when I got in early in the morning, but it never gave me that chance to play with it because my platform froze. So that's DSW. Okay, so shrink the chart, put it back down, and we'll go over my next trade. Here, just move this stuff out. Okay, so the next trade was SFIX here. And let me bring up the chart real quick. So SFIX was on my watch list last night. It was on the down catalyst of a bad earnings reaction. Um, I didn't anticipate for it to stare down this way. Uh, Looking at it pre-market, I mean, there were two levels I was looking at. I was looking at 22, and I was looking at this level as well, 2150s. All right. Now, again, right out of gates, I didn't take the trade, but these are the typical trades that I usually would take out of the gates. The first bar, I mean, you can see how it leveled out here at 2125, 2130s area, right? Um, so right out of gates, these would have been my typical first trades that I could have risked off 21, maybe a little bit more, but I didn't take it. And of course, I'm trying to be patient here with a small account. Had I been in my student account, yeah, I probably would have took it small size at least and write this down. Anyways, so we missed this whole down move. I draw this trend line and I was looking for an entry and it never gave us an entry signal. Now looking back at it, one of our moderators in the chat room got in here on this doji candle and he got in at 1985 as his average. I want to take a look at this candle right here. And I thought about it. It was a good candle for him to, it was very controversy. I mean, you can definitely take the trade on it. I do like it now that I'm thinking about it. And I talked to him about it, about his idea. And as even before he talked about it, I already knew what his plan was. He told me 1985 was his average. I asked what his average was. So I looked right away. This was the only spot where it hit 1985. It was after two big dumps, and then it snapped the key whole number of 20, a psychological area, right? So right away, I already knew when he told me 1985, he was risking the 20. And of course, he confirmed it. He says he took it right here. And his trade was to, if it broke out above 20, he was going to take a little bit off to mitigate the risk, but kept the trade on and wait for it to hit VWAP and see what it does. Now, this trade worked out fantastic, right? I didn't take this trade because of two reasons. Actually, one reason. One, because it came down so hard for the first 2 minutes already, and at this candle, I was basically looking for it to reverse. It was the first green candle, right? It basically had two things it could do. It could have just dumped or it could have reversed. And I was being very iffy about the market open with my trading clock freezing 9:32. I took DSW as well, and I was already in DSW, so I could never have gotten in here. But if I was looking at this, you know what? I would have took the same trade. This was a perfect entry for my moderator here at Trick Trades. His name is Kelvo, by the way. He's awesome. He's the one who built the scanners for Trick Trades, and he is a beast. So just giving him a quick shout out here for Kelvo. Now, looking at this, I was looking for another entry here into SFIX. This is by the time I was done with DSW, and I saw this VWAP rejection come in. I basically had this first trend line marked out, this purple trend line. I marked it off like this, right? I saw it tagged VWAP, came down hard, and then I basically tried to take it. I saw this red candle right here. Let me zoom in a little bit. I saw this red candle get stuffed right on the trend line. And the VWAP slap as well also gave me conviction. So I took it right here. And the trade size was 200 shares. Okay, I took it right here and I was risking a little bit above VWAP. And I was also looking at the 1950s area. Okay, so that's a little bit above VWAP, the prior candles high. And I believe this is around the 1950s, right? So I was risking about that. And then it popped right back up, it came down, I held through. It came down. I paid myself half here at 10:09, and I just let it ride. As I let it ride, this became really funky to me. I had this trend line drawn. I had this first hit, second hit, and I was looking at it and I was thinking to myself, okay, this is a lower high from the VWAP slap earlier. So I should be safe. And of course, I rolled it. Now, at this candle, when it kind of chopped and it broke through and tested this trend line, this is where I took it off. And I'm like, forget about it. My average was at 1939, which wasn't really that great. I waited a long time for it to snap. It didn't snap. So it was one of those trades that it was either going to work or it didn't, right? So I took it off right here, and then eventually the stock snapped. Okay. The stock snapped, and I took it once again at this candle. I was thinking, okay, once I took it off and I saw it snap, I moved the trend line like this, and I saw this uptrend line snap as well, and I took the trade right here as the uptrend snap. Basically, the stock has broke out of the wedge, and this is where I took it. Now, as I took it at what time here? 10:34. I waited and held. I was expecting it to dump out, and it didn't. It held the 19. It held the 19 very well. And by the time it got here, I was just sick of it. So I took half off. It tested 19 a little bit, and I took half off. And when I saw 19 snap, I'm like, booyah! Finally, it's about to work. But right away, as it came under 19, lo and behold, it squeezed up. And the reason why it squeezed up is basically people were already in short, anticipating the snap of 19. So when 19 this snap, all these shorts basically covered and took profits, causing this pop. Now, I thought about this pop. And it was going against me. And let me see here. Yeah, I thought about this pop. It was going against me, and I knew it was a cover pop, so I held through. I held my ground. But as this thing ran, and this candle shot up fast, as this thing ran, there was an emotional doubt in my mind. I was thinking, okay, the stock has sold off a lot. It's coming back up from the key psychological whole number of 19. I'm thinking, would anybody be stupid enough, the longs be stupid enough to chase this and start buying this up as they saw it break out? I'm thinking about the dumb money, and I'm thinking maybe the dumb money would start coming in. Dumb money with big accounts would start coming in and start grabbing this long. And basically, I just took it right off. I'm like, it's too much of a hassle to think about. It could reverse right back into my face. And I just took it off at a chance to break even that. Of course, I thought too much, obviously. I mean, I did very well holding through these two candles, knowing that it was a cover pop. And when this candle, it actually opened, it opened lower, but then it opened flat, and then it started coming up. So I basically took it off right at the top because I was done with it. I was going to wait until and see how the next candle would open, but it opened green first, and then it started coming up, so I took it off, and then it dumped. And then after that, it was basically history, and I was looking at it, and I was kicking myself in the nuts from then on because it basically just held this downtrend line. And yeah, it just continued. All day fader, man. I mean, how many times have we played a bad earnings catalyst and it faded all day? Even though I got in late, it still had so much more room to go. My target was 1860s, looking on the daily chart here. So my target was about 1860s. Let's see. Yeah, it was about this area. I was looking on the daily chart, right? So it did hit that target, but it hit without me, so it is what it is. So Will I get into another trade again? No, not at all. The market today was very choppy. That's my trade recap for the day, by the way. So after commissions, I did make $10. Now, here's a question for you guys, and here's a little poll in the comment below. Do you think this $10 gain today would have constituted to a green day? Because if it is a green day, if it does count as a green day, this would be my 5th green day in a row. Otherwise, I would call it a scratch day. I didn't like my trading at all today, but it is what it is. Not every day you can be Superman here in the market. I mean, just looking at these trades, these scalp trades, me getting in late. So I'm going to beat myself up a little bit here. So thanks for watching. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. And I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Ciao.